Hi everybody, John here with SoCal Outdoor Adventure. It's great to be back with you today. In today's video we are doing a review finally of the Reliance Outfitters French Press Coffee Pot. Stick around, got lots to talk about. Alright, so this is right here, the Reliance Outfitters French Press, and I have to say that this is one of my favorite French presses that I've actually used so far from Reliance Outfitters. Now, this particular pot right here has a 48-ounce capacity, which means you can brew up to about 6 cups of coffee. It's made out of bulletproof 304 stainless steel, which makes it very nice. There are a few different parts that are involved with this coffee pot. So you've got your lid, the stem, and obviously the French press, and all of these parts do come apart. So it makes cleaning very easy. If I can get it off. Oh, it's actually removing the lid. Well, that's okay. So let's go ahead and remove this guy here. This is the cap that attaches to the lid. The lid comes off, and then you can take the French press away, and you can use this if you want to as a regular soup pot, because you do have drainage holes on the top of the pot right here, and then you have your pour spout right here. And to be honest with you, this is actually a very nice front coffee pot. I mean, I absolutely love using this French press, and you may notice that you don't see a lot of soot on the bottom of this pot, and the reason for that is because I've been using this guy at home to make coffee every now and then, and it does come in handy. And hey, wait a minute, you're like, ooh. Gotta get a bit of an echo in this, and I did not notice that. How do you like that? No, I'm kidding. So this guy here is supposed to come loose too. That way you can clean out the metal guard here. But I think I made this guy a little bit too tight. So I'm gonna see if I can fix it here real quick and take it apart. No, I think I made it a little bit too tight. Maybe I can kind of pry it a little bit loose here with the multi-tool. There we go. So once you take the stem off, you can go ahead and pull the parts out loose. Pull out the mesh. The mesh is very fine, very thin. And then you have the stainless steel plate. Goes back together pretty easily. So you put the mesh. So you put the stainless steel, the mesh plate, and then the final piece on top here. And then once you're done, uh-oh, I think I made a boo-boo. So you have about, sorry about that, but hey, you can't have, not everything can be perfect when you make a video for YouTube, right? So you got your stem, you got the lid, and then you've got your top that screws on top here to put the lid back on, and then of course you got the pieces to use it as a French press, and then of course you got the pot right here. And the one thing I love about this one is that very nice, very large butterfly handles. And I can get my whole hand in here to get the pot off the fire or off the stove, and I can also wear gloves and still manage to get the pot off of the stovetop without burning my hand. So that's really nice. I really like that a lot. So let's go ahead and put everything back together. We're going to go ahead and start off with our lid. There we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and give you guys some tips and tricks with this thing. Uh-oh. There we go. Want to make sure I don't make it too tight so that way it's easy to take apart, and that way I can go ahead and clean this out when I'm done. So a couple of tips and tricks that you can do with this pot. One of the biggest things that when I first started using this is that I was really scared that it was going to boil over when it comes to the water. So a little trick here that I learned is that if you're going to go all the way up to, it does have mark sheets on the inside of the cup. So if you're going to go all the way up to the 48-inch mark, what you want to go ahead and do, put your water in the pot, put it on about a medium heat, wait until you start seeing bubbles on the water. Don't use the lid. Then what you can go ahead and do is you can drop your ground coffee into the pot and then allow it to kind of boil over, but you want to make sure it doesn't boil over. When you start to see bubbles start to form up on the coffee, you want to go ahead and turn the stove down to low heat. Still let it warm up, and it will still go ahead and mix that coffee nice and around. And then you can either take either a spoon or a. Sometimes I like to use a whatchamacallit, a chopstick. Mix it around, mix the coffee around into the water a little bit. That way it all mixes in. And then when you're ready to drink, make sure you turn the heat off. Take the pot off the heat. Put your lid right on top, and make sure that you align the drip hole out with the top of the lid here. And then all you're going to do, push down nice and slow. Obviously there's no liquid here right now, so I'm not making any coffee today. I've actually been out on the road today. We just got back from Santa Maria from a little get together with some family. And that's pretty much it. Pros and cons I love about this pot. First off, let's go ahead and talk about the price. Price for this particular pot on Self-Reliance Outfitters is going to be $32.99. You have to go to selfrelianceoutfitters.com. This particular coffee pot, unfortunately, is not available on Amazon, so you do have to go to Self-Reliance Outfitters. And as a friendly reminder, everything that you see on my channel is bought and paid for with my own money. I am not sponsored to do any of these reviews whatsoever. But I do have to say that this has become one of my favorite pots to use when it comes to brewing and making coffee. I absolutely love this pot. And there's a backstory as to why I like this pot so much, and that is I bought a long time ago a percolator by Stanley, the Stanley percolator. And what happened is that I actually lost the lid to the coffee grinding portion of the percolator. So I thought, what the heck am I going to do now? I can make cowboy coffee in there, and that's not a problem, but sometimes, my wife doesn't like cowboy coffee. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to try to start using this guy again. So I started using this pot at home, and I just fell right back in love with it. So I'm actually going to go ahead and add this particular pot into my camp kitchen kit. and basically go ahead and use this in my tent trailer when I go camping with family and friends. But I'm still going to go ahead and keep the other Stanley as a secondary backup. The cons of this pot, honestly, not really many cons. I mean, this pot, I mean, it is 304 stainless steel. It is just a little heavy, but it's not super heavy. Would I recommend something like this for a hiking trip? Probably not. Well, no, actually, I would recommend something like this for a hiking trip if you're planning to use this as both a cook pot for food or just and for coffee. But if you're planning to just use this for coffee, no, I wouldn't recommend taking this one for a hiking trip. But if you're going to go camping, or if you're a car camper, or you're an overlander, I would definitely recommend something like this for that particular setup. For an overland, for camping, or for car camping, I would definitely recommend this for that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video of the Self-Reliance Outfitters 48-ounce French press. If you guys have any questions, any comments, leave them down below and I'll be happy to answer them. If you guys like this sort of content and you like this video, please give it a like, comment, share, and subscribe. And as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Now go outside and have an adventure. Have a good one.